Hi, Margot. Hey, this is Plain Jane coming at you from my own kitchen in rural Virginia. Nip. American history did not begin with natives crossing the land bridge to Alaska from Asia. Not with the first permanent settlements in St. Augustine, Santa Fe, and Jamestown. Not with men in white wigs signing the Declaration. Nope. Not according to the New York Times. No, not according to their 1619 project that's getting a lot of attention. The first slaves arrived in 1619, and according to this project, the entire building rests on that one footer. The entire corrupt building. The aim seems to be mass awareness of America the evil, with a history that is all about slavery, a permanent taint that we cannot escape. Listen up, history buffs and majors. In reality, slavery corrupted way too many institutions and people, both slavers and the enslaved. I can imagine children getting hushed for asking the kind of questions that children always ask. Like, why did she get punished for folding the napkin wrong? Well, so it goes in a totalitarian household, in a totalitarian society. There's been plenty of hypocrisy. Famously, Thomas Jefferson wrote soaring words of freedom and equality that make you want to fly like an eagle, while keeping most of his slaves out of sight, down on the ground floor, except Sally Heming, who he wanted a little bit closer, a lot closer. His words, however, survive and ring true. All men were created equal. Lately, I've heard a lot of talk of 1619. Several presidential candidates have boarded that train. Why do they want to lead an evil, corrupt, racist country, I wonder? People believe the New York Times version, or they say that they do. It's everywhere. Propaganda is repeated until it's believed. As a fact, 1619 was recently sprayed on the Robert E. Lee statue in Charlottesville here. And at least there's a connection between the general of the Confederacy, which fought to protect the right to own slaves, and the date 1619. At least there's a connection. Not so obvious is the connection that the project makes with evil capitalism. Did you know that it started then? And the opposition to universal health care, which I suppose means Obamacare, I don't know. Who knew? Was mother's milk also contaminated by slavery? Ignorance is always everywhere, not just now. But at least it used to have sort of a newly hatched innocence. The baby bird speaks while you nod and listen patiently. Now it's been all twisted. The 1619 project will leave people just as ignorant as they were before, but in a worse, more perverse way. The players in American history were like us in practically every way. We hoped that we would have stood bravely against the culture that said that you could own human beings. Personally, I hope I would have risked my life and reputation on the Underground Railroad, but costs were very high. Abolitionists lost respectability and suffered persecution for helping people get free. Many died, even though God protected Harriet Tubman as she helped over 300 people get to freedom. Slavery was a corrupt foundation, but not everything was built on it. That's my main point here. There were both black and white people involved in abolition of slavery. Many gave their lives in the Civil War and the civil rights movements. Doesn't that fade the stain a little bit? Instead of assuming guilt for things we didn't actually do, or victim status for things we never actually suffered, we should try some humility, forgiveness, and love. Humility, because we don't actually know what we would have done in 1619 or 1860 or 1965. Forgiveness for wrongs committed against people who look like us or against us personally. Love extends from one imperfect person to another. Love your neighbor as yourself. Now who said that? It was Jesus. To do otherwise is to roil and swirl in never-ending turmoil and righteous anger against people we resemble a lot. An addictive adrenaline rush keeps us hopping on the next new outrage, feeling good about feeling bad, maybe feeling bad about feeling good too. Our future as individuals and as a country depends on us taking the not so obvious way out. Well, you can like, share, subscribe, or make a comment and argue with me. I've had lots of views on my last couple of videos, but nobody commented and argued with me. Please do.